Hail and well met, free creatures and gentle beings. Just gonna have a little ramble while I build some of these Victrix Pagan Rus. This is my new kind of Dark Age project. I've already put together a few. We got this guy with some Oathmark orc arms. I'm trying to use as many of those really sick chainmail face masks as I can. I haven't built any Victrix kits before. These are my first ones. I'm really loving them. The arms aren't working for me just because most of my fantasy miniatures have kind of heroic scale weapons and stuff. So I'm using like, this is a Oathmark dwarf banner. We got an elf sword, dwarf shield. These are gonna be, the guys with the fancy shields are gonna be my, it's gonna be my Jarl, I think, for these guys. And love that. Bearskin cloak. Got the sword from the elf light infantry from Oathmark. Another dwarf shield. And that cloak there comes with the, these are the armored early Saxons. And I'm just kind of kit-bashing the armored early Saxons, the armored Rus, and the unarmored Saxons. I haven't built any of those yet, but that's where I'm headed. So just wanted to kind of show you guys what I'm working on, and as I build a few more of these, I'm just gonna ramble talking about the hobby. So like I said, I've really enjoyed these Victrix kits. I started out with Games Workshop, Epic, actually, 40K, as far as like plastic models go. This is kind of rare for a Victrix figure. You can actually see a mold line. These are crazy good. As far as the sculpting, the detail, the production, just really clean. And the sprues are so nice. They go together really well. Let me find my tablet here. I'll be right back. Need to bring up my cheat sheet for assembly. I watch a lot of Wii Wargame videos. Dan's stuff is really good. Really informative and helpful. Helped me finally decide to pull the trigger on the Victrix kits. But I ordered them individually from Sprue Dude, so I kind of made my own. They have those new warband packs that have kind of a sampler of different sprues, but I wanted to get even more specific, so I made my own kind of early Saxon Pagan Rus kind of warband, but that means I don't have the instructions, so I have to go to the website. And like Dan is always saying, you can put them together as long as you see they're either like half arms on the body and then the half arms on the sprue, or there's a shoulder on the sprue and then there's no shoulder on the, yeah. So if it's a hand, there's a couple that are more complex than that, but generally that's all you need to pay attention to. But I like to make sure that I'm getting a good variety of guys. So looking at the Pagan Rus, I guess they just call them the Rus. I don't know why I keep saying Pagan Rus, but mine are pagans. So this unit is going to be kind of a Varangian guard. I really like the in addition to the chainmail masks, and there's pretty cool, like they've got some lamellar on the roost, and they've got very like ornate sort of oriental Islamic, very ornate kind of helmets, and I really like them. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find head one, and here we go. Oh, that's not head one. Okay, so we're doing some Dark Age guys. I was watching a lot of, well, I watched a bunch of Robert Eggers movies and The Northman, which has been out for a few years, but I haven't gotten around to watching it, and it's on the floor. So, 1 second. Wow. There we go. I love the ultimate effect from the separate piece of the chainmail coif mask. But as you can see, it's a little fiddly. Sorry, I usually have my magnifier here, but this is just a light, so I might get too close. But yeah, so I was watching there's some pretty brutal Viking ass action and The Northman, and like some very fantastical like saga kind of stuff. Valkyries riding to Valhalla, you know, stuff, cool shit like that. And I'm just gonna try to make some fantastical Northmen. And that's kind of the inspiration behind this project. I'd been looking at these for a long time. I think it really was the chainmail masks when I first saw the renders of the previews for the early Saxons. And I think it's a pretty interesting kit. I think the same thing seems to have happened with both the early Saxons and the Rus, which is compared to some older Victrix kits. It looks like they started out with the intention to do a command sprue and a command sprue and a warrior sprue, like, you know, the Norman infantry, the Viking infantry, stuff like that. But then they ended up with an armored / command sprue and then an unarmored sprue. So I just think it's cool that they did that, but I really feel like some of especially the early Saxons, like some of these poses, like this guy, like, you know, you can have one guy holding a sword up and you can have one guy holding a banner up like that, but with you want to use all the bearskin cloaks, you know, and all the cool masks, and you can't have, like, if you have 6 sprues, like, you can't have 6 of those guys. I just feel like 1 sprue of these is exactly enough. So they have very like heroic command poses, but then like in the warband you get multiple sprues and you got multiple guys. So I'm just trying to get a little more variety. I do want to use all of the kind of Dane axes that I can to give them the most like Varangian feel, but this guy might also, I think they're left-handed axes, so he can wield an axe in each hand. And so I don't have enough Dane axes for everybody, so I might see. Yeah, I can put those on body 5. Okay, so I'm gonna take arm arm 5 and arm 6. I love, so building models, like, I feel like the hobby of like miniature wargaming, I mean, it's not like an original idea that it's like a million hobbies in one, or at least several hobbies. There's arm 6. But, you know, sitting down and building a model, I mean, people like Gundam. I haven't gotten into Gundam, but I really love building models. And even if I'm not going to get around to painting them anytime very soon, how was arm 6? I just like to, you know, you get a sprue off Sprue Dude for like $10 and spend an hour putting together some models, and you know, that's as good a value as your AAA video game or whatever. You guys are probably screaming at me right now that arm 6 is like right in my face, but I'm not seeing it at all. So, other than that, I have been very pleased with the user experience of these Victrix kits. So, you can tell, compared to like a Oathmark sprue, like, it's a much bigger sprue. But an Oathmark sprue has 5 guys, this has 6, and similar number of bits. It's just like the bigger sprue gives you so much more space to get your clippers in. Like, everything has room around it to work with, and I just really appreciate that. And then once you get the parts on the model, you realize that they really thought it out and made sure that if 2 pieces were going to go flush, that they actually do like go flush together. Like, it's crazy. And they've got these really dynamic poses, which, again, like I was saying, you know, you gotta be careful about repeating very distinctive poses. It makes it hard. I mean, it's better than doing, you know, the old mono pose, but not by much. Is there is there no arm 6? What is happening? There it is. Frickin' finally. Did I cut that one off the sprue? Where is it? Is that? Oh, that's arm 6. Okay. All right, arm 6 has been located. But one of the best things about having all that room on the sprue is once you clip it off, I doubt you're gonna be able to see. There's just, it's not like a Gundam or anything, but like there's just a tiny bit to clean up, like hardly any at all, because you can get, and I mean, these are new clippers. These are actually, there's like entry level God hand that are like $15. I don't know that they're necessarily different than anything else, but they feel good to me because I've just been using an old pair of clippers that my buddy gave me, and yeah, just like hardly any cleanup at all. And as far as tools go, I mean, you gotta have an X-Acto knife, you gotta have your clippers, and I switched recently to Tamiya. It's outside of my expertise, but everybody, you always hear about the extra thin, but I have a lot of trouble with liquid cement running away from me, and I've only gradually been developing light touch. So having the thick glue cement to build models with, I feel works really well for me. I do have a tendency to put way too much glue, and then it takes forever to dry, and it runs everywhere, but I'm getting better. So let's see what kind of cool pose we can get with this guy. I do find that even even adjusting for the fact that these are historical, realistic, kind of true proportion, I kind of think some of these arms are maybe a little too small. But I mean, maybe I'm just poisoned from looking at so much Warhammer my whole life. All right, so there's our 2-axe Varangian guy. And let's see what else we can do. Yeah, so we're building Victrix kits here. And yeah, like you could see what I'm saying about this. You can get in so easily. Like there's so much room for the clippers. Now, so I've got this Dark Age project that I'm working on, and just trying to find the coolest dudes. Which body is that? Body 5. Body 1. Body. No, it's not body 5. Body 3. Okay, so body 3 is A15, and I already made a guy like that, so let's make sure we don't copy him. Alright, let's do a crazy beardy guy. Hairy, scary over here. Oh, still attached there. All right. Yeah, and these Victrix does a lot of these 2-part heads, and it lets them get a lot more. Like this can be, like normally you wouldn't be able, I think, to have like a deep undercut like that. So these makes so they can fit together real nice and pop over. And just do a little cement here. But Victrix, man, they make some good models. I will definitely be buying. I will probably be unable not to buy more of these in the future. But I think I probably said what I'm gonna say, and I think I'm gonna call it here. So until next time, fare thee well, adventurers, and take care. Have a great day.